And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by Flynn G, who writes, "Hey, John and Rob. So, the producer of Aquaman 2 and Suicide Squad just did a podcast interview where he said that removing Amber Heard was never something they even considered, and that they weren't ever going to take social media campaign for it seriously, saying that they were going to do what was right for the movie. What do you think about their decision, and do you think it can hurt them?" All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And yeah, listen, this has been a big ongoing, kind of hoopla thing going on for a while now. Now, obviously, this is all pinned back to the Johnny Depp situation and things like that. And there are supporters of Johnny Depp who kind of tried to mount a campaign to have Amber Heard fired. Never mind the fact that Zack Snyder was behind her, that Jason Momoa was behind her, that Walter Hamada was behind her, that James Wan was behind her, that Warner Brothers was behind her. Even though all that was true, there were still a lot of people who wanted to see her removed from the film. Now, going back into the history of this, with the big falling out, and let's all remember, none of you were there, and I wasn't there, and none of us were there. We all got it. Everybody thinks they know everything, Rob. Everybody always thinks they know. I looked on the Googles and I found out. Yeah, we're all like that. We all do that. We're all idiots sometimes. But we all got to keep in mind that none of us were there. So all we can really do is, look to the built-in processes to see what happens. So anyway, Warner Brothers did their own internal investigation. So they got investigators and they looked into the matter of everything that went on between Johnny and Amber. And they they concluded, not that they were right, but they concluded that they sided with Amber Heard. They believed her. They believed the evidence pointed that she was telling the truth and blah, blah, blah. Right or wrong, that's what they felt. But they decided not to make any moves until a court of law weighed in on it. So, of course, the first case that came in was Johnny Depp was suing the newspaper that basically ran Amber Heard's story and referred to Johnny Depp as an abuser and as a wife abuser and things like that. So Johnny Depp was sued in court for defamation. The court not only rejected and found against him, they also made the very disturbing statement. And Rob, you remember this statement. They said that the court found, after weeks of testimony and evidence and all that kind of stuff, a lot of stuff you and I have not seen, the court determined that the accusations against Johnny Depp were demonstrably true. Or what's the word they used? It was basically, they said, we find that all the accusations against Johnny Depp are substantially true. They're true. So that's what the court found. Again, I wasn't there. I don't know. But that's what the court found. So Warner Brothers, who was just waiting for the court to make a decision, once the court came to the same conclusion that Warner Brothers' investigation came to, they immediately pulled the trigger and released Johnny Depp. Now, ever since then, a lot of people who are supporters of Johnny Depp have been wanting Amber Heard to be fired and stuff like that. So there's been a lot of social media movement. But again, Warner Brothers stayed firmly behind her on all this kind of stuff. And now the producer of Aquaman was talking about this, and he was asked, was there ever, did you guys ever come close to letting Amber Heard go? And this is what he said. Peter Safran, this comes to us from the folks at Deadline. Peter Safran was asked whether the social media campaign by Johnny Depp fans for Amber Heard's removal from the DC sequel ever had any influence on the production and their casting decisions. He said this, "I don't think we are ever going to react to, honestly. Pure fan pressure," said Safran, whose James Gunn The Suicide Squad movie hits theaters and HBO Max on August 6th. "You got to do what's best for the movie," continued Safran. "We felt that if it's James Wan and Jason Momoa, it should be Amber Heard. That's really what it was. One is not unaware of what's going on in the Twitterverse, but that doesn't mean you have to react to it or take it as gospel or accede to their wishes, said Safran. You have to do what's right for the film, and that's really where we landed on it. And that comes to us again from the producer of Aquaman 2. Now, again, Rob, I don't generally like this he said, she said, TMZ nonsense BS, but I become interested when it directly is talking about the films we see and how they come to the screen and stuff like that. This is clearly one of those. To me, this is the logical conclusion of what this journey has been so far. And I say that, with all deference to people who are Johnny Depp fans and all that kind of stuff. I've been a big fan of a lot of Johnny Depp's work as well, but Warner Brothers did their own investigation. They came to a conclusion. Decided we're going to wait to see what the court of law says. The court of law says we believe the accusations against Johnny Depp were true. Johnny Depp then filed to have what's the word for it again? Why am I freezing on this? They wanted to appeal. Johnny Depp filed for an appeal, but he was denied his appeal because they found there was nothing wrong. The higher court said there was nothing wrong either in the process of law or anything else that substantiated an appeal. So he was rejected an appeal. Now, there is still a North American, there's still an American lawsuit that may or may not happen at this point, and maybe an American court comes to a different conclusion. If that happens, then there's going to be more to talk about. But Rob, to me, the producer's comments here is just the common sense, logical ending to this path that they've been on. Warner Brothers investigation found one thing. The court backed up what they found. They acted on that. An appeal was rejected. So why would they change what they're doing? They have backed and supported Amber Heard from the beginning. James Wan, Walter Hamada, Zack Snyder, the head people of Warner Brothers, they've all backed her. And I don't see why anybody would be surprised. And again, this could take a very, very interesting turn if the American court finds differently. If that happens, that opens up a whole new world of discussions. Absolutely. But for now, this seems like the logical conclusion. Rob, you read these statements from the producer and all this kind of stuff. And how do you land on this?
Well, first of all, this is a personal dispute between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I don't see what it has to do with Aquaman. And the idea that, we now live in a world where, like you said earlier, everybody wants to know everything. Would you want to be judged in your professional life by what's going on in your personal life if you had a personal dispute with somebody for whatever reason, that you might lose your job or your livelihood? And when I understand people want to be activists and they want to do the right thing and people are Johnny Depp fans and all of this, but this is a personal matter between them because they're celebrities. It gets played out in the public. What this has to do with Aquaman 2, I do not know. I really don't. And whatever's going to happen will be settled in the courts, the way that these disputes between formerly married people or married people have been for decades, and it's none of our business. And I would say that I know everybody wants to make it their business, but to me, I'm like, what does this have to do with Aquaman 2? I don't know.
And I don't want to speak on behalf of anybody else, but to the Johnny Depp supporters, I can see where they're coming from because on the one hand, like in this personal dispute between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard in this he said, she said battle that, again, everybody likes to pretend that they know what happened, but none of us were there. But their guy got dumped from Fantastic Beasts, which may have been a blessing in disguise. But their guy got dumped from Fantastic Beasts. Their guy got dumped from Pirates. Not that there was ever any proof that they were going to do another Pirates with Johnny Depp anyway. Because let's be honest, Johnny Depp on the set and doing Pirates has been problematic for Disney over the years. But still, from their point of view, their guy got dumped off of one franchise. Their guy got dumped off another franchise. But nothing happened to Amber Heard. So, and I'm not saying they're right to feel that way or wrong to feel that way. I'm just saying I can get why some people who choose to believe Johnny Depp over Amber Heard would feel that there's an imbalance there, that Johnny Depp got fired. Why didn't Amber Heard? And the only thing I would say is, well, because Warner Brothers did an investigation and that's what they found. And the court did an investigation and that's what they found. But still, I can see where they're coming from. And that's why I still think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in a North American court, because I'm interested in two things. If the North American court finds that there's liability with Amber Heard, does that change what Warner Brothers' working relationship with her is moving forward? Or if yet another court in America finds against Johnny Depp again, will that make the supporters of Johnny Depp back off and go, oh, I guess they were right all along? I mean, I don't know. I just think it's interesting.
No, I mean, look, I do too. All of those things are true. But, we're living through a time, we're in the Me Too era, the post-Me Too era. And any kind of impropriety like this is going to be met with a little bit more pushback and a little bit more scrutiny than it was in the past. Because normally these sordid details of people's personal lives are something that wouldn't necessarily be so dragged through the press. And I understand. I mean, look, is Amber Heard a saint? No. Is Johnny Depp a saint? No. And to me, that's probably true of a lot of us. And I just think that Amber Heard probably has a pretty good contract with Warner Brothers. If they're going to break the contract, I mean, even though Johnny Depp left Fantastic Beasts, he was asked to, he stepped down, he still got paid, and this becomes something that it's also an economic decision too. Even though people want to stand on ceremony, and then you have to replace Amber Heard, and who are you going to replace her with? How is that going to be for the film?
Yep. So again, I thought it was interesting comments from the producer, but the logical comments from the producer. I mean,
Yes.
if your own investigation turns up one thing and a court of law backs it up, what are you going to do? Let's see what happened with the American case says and which way that goes. And I am curious if the American case goes against Amber, will it make people who have supported Amber question her? If it goes against Depp, will it finally? That'll be three. That'll be Warner Brothers investigation, the court in the UK, and the court in America. Will that make people go, oh, I guess maybe Johnny Depp is the one? I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. But really, Rob, we know humanity. Everybody picks a side, whether they're informed or not, and they dig in their heels, regardless whether it's Amber's side or Johnny's side. And no amount of logic, no amount of court findings, no amount of evidence is ever going to make anybody change their minds. That's just the world we live in. Anyway, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about this? Jump on down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.